episode of the Caffeinated Craft Mamas podcast. My podcast all about my knitting, crocheting, and bookish life in Southwest Missouri, where I live with my partner Richard, our 3 kids, and our dog. Hope you all are doing well. It has been 2 weeks since I have podcasted. I have a finished object. I have a couple works in progress, some books to talk about, and what am I wearing? Because we haven't done one of those in a while. So we'll start with the admin stuff. The winner of the giveaway has contacted me and her package has been sent out. I'm pretty sure it's actually already reached her. So I am looking forward to doing another one of those. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do one pretty soon. The other thing I'd like to talk about is that you can follow me on social media. Instagram is where I am most active, though if you look at my profile, you wouldn't know it. I haven't posted much on there recently, but that's pretty much the only place that I do crafty things anymore. Also, notes will be down below in the drop box. I pretty much forget to say that every single podcast, but I'm going to try to remember. And we are doing all things fall around here at the Melton Marlowe household because I am really hoping that if I wear my scarves and I drink pumpkin coffee and I burn pumpkin candles, maybe fall will get here. It is supposed to be highs in the 90s all week, and that just makes my skin crawl. I'm so ready for cool weather and sweaters and apple picking and pumpkin patches and everything fall. So hopefully we can get some of those fall vibes going today. I am drinking some just regular coffee with my oat milk creamer that I love so much in my pumpkin everything mug. I was a little disappointed. I got some pumpkin creamer that was the simple, I think it's like Coffee Mate Simple, where they only have like 5 ingredients in it, and it didn't taste like anything. Made me really sad. So I've been putting coffee, like pumpkin pie spice, in my coffee grounds when I make my coffee in my French press, and using vanilla creamer because I can't get a hold of pumpkin creamer anywhere around here. Like as soon as it's being put out, the shelves have been cleared. It's insane. So I'm gonna take a drink of this real quick. Today is Monday, September 12th. Everybody and their brother has tried to keep me from podcasting today, but we are here. I barely have any notes and we are flying by the seat of our pants, but that's all right. William's bus was extremely late this morning, and so I ended up having to drive him to school. Not a huge deal, but it is across town, so that ate up almost an hour of my morning. Plus, we got back from waiting for the bus for 30 minutes, and sister hadn't eaten breakfast or had her lunch packed, and we needed to be out the door in 5 minutes. So it's been a little bit of a wild morning, but we're here. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk about crafty things. So, I've already talked about the weather. It's nasty. It's hot. I'm so ready for that to be over, which is also why I'm taking this off. I wanted to bring this out. I haven't talked about this. Excuse me. I haven't talked about this since my probably first or second podcast. This is my free Your Fade shawl. It's actually the first shawl I've ever knit. The pattern is by Andrea Mowry. I knit this last fall. I started it when quarantine started. It's like April. And I got most of the way through the purple and I just quit knitting on it. I just wasn't feeling it. Then my sister announced that she was getting married and purple and orange were her colors. So I went ahead and finished it and wore it to her wedding, and it turned out really pretty. It looked really good with my dress. The purple and the orange are both Knit Pick Stroll. This, I do not remember the color. I don't. It's one of their colors that they keep in Stroll all the time, and I know the orange is pumpkin because I use this orange a lot. The middle color is Bad Wolf Girl Studios Silence in the Library, and I just love this shawl so much. I wear it like I was wearing it just a second ago, mostly as a triangle shawl, though when I wore it for my sister's wedding, I just draped it over my shoulders and tied it in the front. I'll see if I can pop a picture in. I don't have a ton of pictures because I was running around so much. I didn't really take many selfies or things, but I'll try to pop in a photo of me wearing it. It matches my jacket really well, and it's just that perfect fall vibe that I'm looking for, and I just loved it so much. The pattern was a lot of fun. So I'm just going to stick it right here because it's Already 80 something degrees outside, and it's way, way, way too hot for me to actually be wearing that. The other thing that I'm wearing that is fall-ish is my shirt. This will prove to you the depth of my nerddom, I should say, because several people I have to explain this shirt to, but that's okay. This is my pumpkin pie shirt, as in circumference divided by diameter equals pi. It's a math nerd joke. I get it. Not most people don't, but I love it to pieces. It's one of my few fall shirts that I have, so I dug it out of my fall decorations to be able to wear it for the podcast today. So, as I've said, I have a finished object, I have a couple of whips, and I've got some books. So we're going to start with finished objects. And I don't think you guys have actually seen this one. I finished those Christmas socks that I talked about on the last podcast, and I put a poll up on Instagram and my stories asking if I should start another pair of Christmas socks or if I should do a pair of Halloween socks. Well, Halloween won, and this is what I knit. The body of the sock, so this right here, is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Red Winged Blackbird. It's in their hand painted section. And when I saw this, I've had this in my stash for over a year, but when I saw it, it just immediately made me think of fall. And then the cuff and the toe are the Knit Picks Stroll in the colorway Pumpkin. Now, the keen-eyed among you will notice that these are different than my normal socks. I did do a heel flap and gusset for this pair of socks. I also decreased my stitch count by 4 stitches, and here is why. The love of my life, Richard, is a sock thief, okay? When I was doing the 60 stitch sock, they were a little bit too big. So if I'd wear them 3 or 4 times, they got to where they like slide around in my shoes and things. Well, they got big enough that they now all fit him. And he has worn nothing but hand knit socks since I made him that pair in February, which is great. I love that he loves the socks that I've knit. But there's some socks that I'm like, man, I knit those for myself. Like, those are for me, not for you. Those are mine. And I'm sure that sounds a little selfish, but it's like, man, I just want a couple pairs of socks that you don't steal. And so I decreased these by 4 stitches, and I did a 50 stitch body before I started the gusset increases, and then I did the heel turn. Instead of doing the wrap and turn short rows that are required for the heel turn, I actually did the twin stitch left and twin stitch right from the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And I like how that turned out. It looks really good. I'll hold one of them up so you can kind of see. It's kind of hard to tell with this yarn, but. And then I just did the slip one, knit one, heel flap, all the way up. And then I did a 50 stitch leg and a 15 stitch, or 14 row, listen to me stitch, 14 row cuff. And then I did the nitty natty stretchy bind off. So I know for a fact these won't fit him because I can barely get them on, and his feet are bigger than mine. So score 1 for selfish knitting. And like I said, for the most part, I love the fact that he wants to wear the hand knit socks that I make. It makes me so happy to see him wear them. But there are just a few pairs that I'm like, those are my special socks. Like you can't have those. Those are mine. And this is going to be one of those. So those are all the whips I have. Honestly, those flew off the needles. I started them after I recorded the podcast last time, and I needed to take my mom's car to the shop for her on Friday, I believe. And Bub and I were there for like an hour and 20 minutes. And I literally knit the whole foot and started the gusset increases. I had the toe done, but I knit the whole foot and started the gusset increases while we were waiting. So it just flew. I don't know if it's just because I'm doing a different construction than what I'm used to. So it makes it more exciting or what, but they just flew off the needles. So, all right, we're gonna get into whips. My first whip, I'm actually really proud of the progress I've made. Excuse me. I wanted to have this done already because this is a baby blanket for a friend of mine. And it is just a giant version of the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by PJ Allen. So I had 2 balls actually of the Caron 1 pound yarn, and I just split a ball in half, almost exactly. I like weighed it on my scale, and then I took the smaller ball, increased until I ran out of yarn, and then now I'm decreasing. So this flamingo stitch marker is where I was last time. So I've gotten a significant amount done, and I am decreasing now. I'm loving the fabric that this is giving me. So it's a worsted weight yarn, and I'm using US 9s. And it's just giving me this super squishy fabric. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to pin this out on my blocking mats and steam the crap out of it. Because the last blanket that I made, and I did that too, got this gorgeous drape to it, and it was just beautiful. And I don't typically knit blankets, so I want this one to be special. I also need to hurry up and get this finished because little man's already here. He was supposed to be born at the end of September, but he was already getting really big, so they went ahead and induced mom, and he was born last week. So I need to hurry because I'm notorious for giving kids their baby blankets when they're like 2 or 3. So I need to hurry up and get this done. But I am proud of the progress I made. It has been our my TV knitting in the evenings. Richard and I have started watching that. Oh, it's on Hulu. It's got Steve Martin and Selena Gomez, Martin Short, I believe. Oh, what is it called? Murder in Our Building, I believe. Murder in Our Building. We're on the 3rd episode. Hulu's releasing them weekly. And we have really been enjoying it. Definitely not a kid-friendly show at all, so we've had to wait until the kids are actually asleep to be able to watch it. But we've really been enjoying it. So, next whip, you guys have seen, and I made a little bit of progress on this one, but those Halloween socks kind of took up all my time. These are Richard's Baby Yoda socks. It's actually Patton's Croy in the colorway Turquoise Jacquard. So I got the heel popped in. I just did a Fish Lips Kiss heel for him, and I am working on the leg of the sock. So I'm hoping to have both of these finished for you guys next time I see you. The pair I just finished is pair 11 for the year. This will be pair 12 for the year. And I'm hoping to get a pair done about every 2 weeks. I'm hoping to be able to keep up that schedule. So we'll see what ends up happening. I've got Christmas gifts that I've got to get started. So, you know, we'll see. But I was right here. So I knit the rest of the foot and the heel. So we'll get some progress on that. I also have my Fangirl Fibers, all about that wingspan, stitch marker from Emily. I love her stitch markers. They're so much fun. And that's a ACOTAR reference, so, you know, gotta love it. I need her to make some Blood and Ash ones. Emily, if you watch this, I really need you to make some of Blood and Ash, from Blood and Ash, excuse me, stitch markers. That would, like, make my life complete right now. So, the next one I have up is actually one I cast on with my mom yesterday. Because when you finish a pair of socks, you immediately start a new pair. This is on the other side. It's a colorway from Bad Wolf Girl Studios. It was her Halloween colorway last year. It is based on the villain from The Princess and the Frog. And I have actually knit a pair of socks out of this already. Some of you who have been following my Instagram for a while will recognize it. My Halloween socks last year, I did Afterthought Everything on them, and it was out of this yarn. But alas, it was an Afterthought heel. Afterthought heels and I do not get along very well, at least for my foot shape and my foot size, and they don't stay on my foot. So they have graduated to Richard's sock pile. So I just have a little bitty toe. And I'm not going to do, I don't think, any contrast. I've got like 55, I think, grams of this. And I know I already have a ball of this in my Cozy Memories. And I'm pretty sure I already have a ball of this in my Scrappy Granny Square. So I can just use as much of this as I want to finish up. So, and this is living in my Halloween Owls bag. You guys have seen this several times, but I talk about it every time I show it. It is from Combs ML on Instagram or Knit by Nature on Etsy. Her bags are great. The stars glow in the dark, and I just love it to pieces. So that is actually all of my whips for right now. Like I said, I've been slacking a little bit. I really need to start that Musselburgh hat, or Musselburgh hat. I said I was going to do it, and I didn't. Life's been just a little crazy around here, and I just haven't had as much crafting time as I wanted to. Part of it is my own fault. Part of it is I've just been reading a lot of books. But the other part of it has just been I haven't been able to just sit down and have time to concentrate enough to learn a new skill. And I've got to concentrate enough to do a crocheted pinhole cast on for the start of that hat. Once I do that, it won't be a problem. I've got the yarn, the needles, everything sitting in a bag. I just need to sit down and do it. So I'm hoping tomorrow, while Jade is at therapy, I will be able to just sit down and start that hat. The plan was to start it this morning before I recorded the podcast, but obviously that didn't work out very well. So we'll go with it. 3 whips isn't too bad. I feel like I am slacking a little bit because typically I have 5 or 6 whips going at a time, but that's okay. I do need to start Christmas presents. I'd like to knit a sweater for my niece, and I think I'm just going to create a color work chart and use the same numbers as the Dino Roar sweater by Bad Wolf Girl Studios and just do a different color work chart for her. And then I've got some hats that I need to knit and about 20, 25 dishcloths. So, you know, got to get on all that stuff. Having my Kindle to read on will be helpful because I can read and knit at the same time, as long as it's not like the color work section of a sweater or a lace section, obviously. But I can sit there and knit pretty quickly with those. So that is all the crafty content I have today. This is going to be a pretty short episode, which I figured it would. It's our first time back after 2 weeks, so I figured it would be a shorter episode. But if you're just here for the crafting, that's it, and I will see you later. I hope you stay healthy, happy, and well, and we will see you guys at the end of September. Bye! For the rest of you, let's talk books. Okay, so I read the 4th book in the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Now, if you haven't read this series before, or you haven't read this author, she's the author of From Blood and Ash, and she's got several books. She's also the author of the Harbinger series I talked about a couple of weeks ago. And this series is about it's more sci-fi than fantasy. It is a group of aliens, very Area 51. In fact, they talk about Area 51 in the book. Not something I ever thought I would find myself reading. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's true. Even my mom, when I was telling her about the book, glossing over several parts, I told her it was about aliens, and she looked at me like I had grown 2 heads, because that's just not something that I ever would have read before or really been interested in. But I'm really enjoying it. The 5th book is at the library ready for me to pick up. I will do that this afternoon. I actually purposefully left it there because I had other books I needed to read first. But I'm really enjoying the story so far. I'm interested to see how it's going to end. I've learned with Jennifer L. Armentrout that she always leaves these massive cliffhangers at the end of every book. She did that in all the Harbinger series. She's done that in From Blood and Ash. That's the reason I have not read or listened to, actually, I have them on Audible, the 3rd book in the From Blood and Ash series, the Gilded Crown book. I have it on Audible ready to listen to, but I haven't started it yet because I know she's going to leave this massive cliffhanger, and I'm going to have to wait until March. And I know we talk about this every single time. But so I enjoyed that book a lot. Hopefully the 5th book will tie up all the loose ends for me, give me a happy ending, and that'll just be that. I also read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, I tried to listen to this book several months ago on Libby, and the narrator and I just weren't jiving. I have a hearing loss. It's not a significant one, but it's enough that it makes conversations hard between myself and others, especially if I'm not in the room with that person. If I'm on the phone with them or I'm listening to them speak, I a lot of times have a really hard time understanding what's being said. And the narrator of this book, I was really having a rough time understanding. For me, it was almost like she was talking with something over her mouth, and I just couldn't understand her. So I returned it, and I keep hearing great things about this book, and everybody keeps talking about this book. And I even saw a little picture on Pinterest of Poppy from Blood and Ash and the main girl in this book, The Cruel Prince, Jude, and they're like having coffee and talking about, you know, horrible things that they do. And so it made me laugh, and so I decided to go ahead and put it back on hold, and I put it on hold for my Kindle, and I was able to read it on my Kindle, and I really enjoyed it. I read it in about 3 days, so it was a pretty quick read. I'm interested to see how the second book goes, and just to finish the series. I've enjoyed reading some series, but then I keep getting hung up on them, and I've needed a few standalones. I haven't really read any standalones recently, so hopefully I've actually started one right now on Kindle. So we'll see how I like it. It was one of those, because you've read ACOTAR and because you've read From Blood and Ash, you'll like these books, and it's a lesser known author. So we'll see how I like it. Oh, and we need to talk about something else too. My goodness. So I tried reading Capturing the Devil by Kelly, I cannot think of her name. I'll put it right here. Anyway, it's the 4th book of that Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and I know it's the last book, and I was reading it, and I got about halfway through it, and I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I am so frustrated with how the characters are acting and how some things are being taken care of in the book, that I'm not sure I'm going to finish it, because my reading time is so limited that I don't want to waste my time if it's not going to be a good read, if that makes sense. I know some of you guys can like power through books even if you don't like them. I'm not one of those people. If I'm not enjoying a book, see you later, bye. So I don't think I'm actually going to finish that book. I flipped ahead to the end and I read the last little bit, like the epilogue type of thing. And so I know how it all ends. And I really feel like the 10 or 12 chapters I skipped are all fluff. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and return that. I'm really disappointed in that because I've loved that series so much. But the 3rd book and the 4th book have both kind of been disappointing. So hopefully, that can just be that. But I really enjoyed the first 2, so I'm really bummed that they've been so disappointing, the last 2. But that's really all I've read for the last 2 weeks. The kids have been going to school. School's been great. Other than the hiccup with the bus today, the bus has been wonderful. William's really been enjoying it. I need to go get his haircut. That's on the list for these next two weeks before I see you guys again. So I'll pop pictures in once he gets his haircut. Let's see, what else? I'm gearing up for Vlogtober. I'm going to attempt to do Vlogtober. We'll see how it goes. I am not going to have a vlog every day because my life is really boring and it's mostly house cleaning and reading books and knitting. And you guys would get really bored of watching the same thing over and over again. So I'm just going to video little snippets of my week and throw them all together and throw them up on YouTube for you. I know that vlogs are not for everybody, so I will still do episodes like I normally do. I really want to participate in Vlogtober and in Vlogmas, so I wanted to kind of get my feet wet and try some things out. We have some fun things that we do every October. We go pick apples, we go to the pumpkin patch. I would like to try to dye yarn with you guys, so I'm considering doing a setup in my kitchen and we could dye some yarn together, because I have all the stuff. I've been dying to try, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do. Yeah, Jade's birthday is in October. Halloween is a big deal in our house, so it'll be a fun time. So I've been gearing up for a few things with that, and other than that, it's been pretty chill. So we've been running. 9 miles went well, and we do, how many do we do? Not this weekend, but the weekend after we're doing 11. So we'll see how 11 goes. If I've run 9, I can run 11. And I'll be glad when the races are over. I don't plan to stop running. I'm planning on still running a couple miles, 2 or 3 times a week, but it'll be nice to not have to block out 2.5 or 3 hours of my day on Saturdays to be able to run. That's a lot of time, and I can't imagine trying to train for a full marathon, because I'd be looking at 6-7 hours of my day every Saturday. And I've got little kids, and Richard works every Saturday, so there's just too much there. But it'll be good, and it'll be a good accomplishment to be able to know that I ran another half. And it's been fun to do with my mom, so I'm thankful for that. I think that's all. I think at this point I'm just rambling, and I need to go warm up my coffee, and I have to get Bub off the bus in like 30 minutes. So I hope that you guys are healthy, happy, and well. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you're up to, what you've been doing, what you would like to see on Vlogtober. And we will see if I can make that happen for you. Bye!